Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to be showing you guys the best and worst powder blushes from the drugstore. I do have a playlist with a lot of these videos, best and worst lip oils, cream blushes, cream bronzers, foundation, concealers. And I just wanted to add to the playlist because I can see that you guys do enjoy the videos and also find them helpful. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so I do have a lot of blushes, and they're not all of them that I have, so maybe this could be a part 1 and I could do a part 2. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, but we're gonna hop right in because we have so much to talk about. Okay, so the first blush I want to talk about is actually a very exciting one. I am going to be talking about like popular powder blushes, but I'm also going to be talking about the ones that are not so popular that I think should be. So first, let's start off with this one. So this is the Koki Cosmetics Soft Gradient Blush. I have, I believe, every shade of the matte versions. These are very, very cool. These are going to be $8, and as you guys can see, they have like an ombre of colors, which actually you can use separately or blend them all together. They do have very cool tone blushes as well as warm tone blushes, and they do have matte and shimmer shades. Like I mentioned, I only have the matte shades, but I really, really love them. And by the way, if throughout this video you see me like pointing the blushes down, is because this is them like washed out with my lights, but this is more of like the true color of them. How cool are these blushes? I really like them because, like I mentioned, you can do like them separately and they give you literally 3 different kinds of blushes, or you can swirl it all together and it turns into like one color. I like it because I feel like you can get like 4 blushes out of just one. So not only do I love the concept, but I like the shade range. If you're looking for like a sunset cool tone purple type of look, they have that one. They have a very, very bright like orangey yellow. They have very like neutral shades, which are actually really, really pretty. I will link them down below. Again, I've only tried the matte version. I'm sure the shimmer one's also really pretty, but I just feel like these don't get a lot of hype, and they should. Maybe people just don't know about them. They're not overly pigmented, like you can actually build these, which is really, really nice. And yeah, I really, really like them. I do have a coupon code with them. It is affiliate if you do use it, but it is for 25% off if you guys are interested. But why not give these a shot, because they're super, super nice. Before we move on to the next one, just keep in mind that obviously the prices that I'm giving you guys, I am grabbing from the website, but they are going to vary depending on where you do purchase these products. So moving on to another product that I feel like a lot of people would really enjoy it, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and it's from Hard Candy. So this is the Hard Candy Just Glow Shimmer Blush, and I have the shade Gush Blush. Now I feel like a lot of people are really, really enjoying a lot of the very shimmery blushes. This one, again, sorry if it gets a little washed out. This is like a very pretty pink shade, and it has more of like a rose gold shift. So on the website, this is actually going to be $9.24, and it's just described as a buildable radiant blush. I do think this one is a little bit on the chunkier side. It's not as finely milled, but it is going to give you almost like a highlighter glow type of effect, which also means it will emphasize some texture. I mean, that's just what highlighter and shimmer does. But if you've been looking for a very shimmery but also very pigmented blush that is obviously not a cream, because I see a lot of people using shimmery cream blushes, but if you're not into the cream blush but you do like that look, this is going to be a really good one. The only thing with Hard Candy is that they don't have that many shades to choose from, so if you do find your shade, I would definitely try this out. Next, I want to talk about a blush that I have loved for like a decade at this point, and I still think it's great, and it has a really, really good price point. These are the Wet n Wild blushes. So this on the website, it actually retails for $3.79. They're very, very inexpensive. These are really, really nice. My favorite shade is this one. This is Mellow Wine. This is going to be a matte shade, and this one is just like the perfect shade for a lot of people. I also do have the shade Pearlescent Pink, which I know a lot of people like, especially with lighter skin tones. This one is actually on the shimmery side, so they do have matte shimmer and then the matte ones with a little bit of shimmer in them, if that makes sense, and they are buildable. So the thing about this is, if you're just looking for a blush that is just overall really, really good, and it lasts and it's pigmented and buildable buildable and nice and soft and very, very affordable. Try these out. The only problem is they only have 4 different shades, so the shade selection's not the best again, but if you can find a shade that you like, I really think you can't go wrong with these, especially if you're on a budget. Even if you're not on a budget, I think these are really nice. I have been wearing Mellow Wine forever. Moving on to one that came out the last couple years. This is actually, I'm so sorry about the sticker, but this is the Covergirl True Blend So Flushed High Pigment Blush. Now, this is exactly what it says. It's a high pigment blush. I have the shade Sweet Seduction. So this is actually a shimmer shade, and as you can see, a lot of pigment comes off. You do have to be a little bit careful with these because they are so pigmented, so just go in with a very light hand. I like how big the pan is. This one varies prices. At Walgreens it's like $11, at Target is $8, so I guess let's just say that they're like $9. The blush has 4 different shades, and you know, I think the shades are pretty good. They do have like a lighter skin tone, 2 mediums, and then 2 dark ones. So I actually really do like this blush. It is the blush that I'm wearing right now, and as you can see, it is very pigmented. It does emphasize texture, as you can see. Obviously, most things that do have shimmer will emphasize textures, but there are other products that are a little bit more finely milled. This one's just a little on the chunky side, but if you're just looking for a blush that is very, very pigmented, they have pretty shades, and you want a nice shimmery finish, this is a really nice one. Now, let's talk about this one. So this is actually from Flower Beauty. I only have 1 shade of this, and this is the shade Wild Rose. I got the shade because it looks very similar to all those Dior blushes that everybody likes. I feel like that like very cool tone pinky shade is really in right now. Sometimes it's a little too light for me, but this is a nice formula because it is pretty pigmented. So this is gonna be $10, and they do have 7 different shades, and they do have a good mixture of like cool tone and warm tone. I really like this because this is a formula that is extremely matte, but it is nice and silky. It's not chalky. It's actually very pigmented, but it is also like more hardly pressed, and so the brush picks up like the perfect amount. I really like these blushes. I think they're really beautiful. I like the imprint. It actually reminds me a lot of the Milani ones, but I do think this one has more pigment. So if you are looking for a matte blush and you are looking for a nice pinky shade, Flower Beauty does have it, and like I mentioned, it's really nice and like soft focus almost. What I like about blushes that are very matte but silky is that they almost just like smooth out your skin. So I really do love that. Obviously a completely different vibe than what I have going on right now. Since I did bring up the Milani Flower blushes, why not talk about these? As you can see, this is a palette. I don't have a full size single blush. If you were to buy a single one that was obviously bigger than this, it would be $10.99, and they do have 7 different shades. If you do buy this palette with 3 shades, it's $14.99. Obviously the pans are smaller, but I will say I feel like we take a while to go through blush, especially powder blush, so I do actually like that they did do the palettes. Now these are going to be a mixture of shimmer and matte. I will say the only problem with these is, number one, I just poked my eye. Number one, they don't have very many deep shades, and number two, these are very soft and they're not as pigmented as you can see. I think that these blushes would probably work really, really beautiful on lighter skin tones because it is a really nice formula. Here I have it built up a little bit more. It's buildable, but it's just not as pigmented, like I mentioned, as the Flower Beauty one, but it is as soft and like buttery. So if you're just looking for a soft buttery blush that maybe doesn't pack that much of a punch, like if you don't love a lot of blush, or if you just have lighter skin tone, I think you're gonna enjoy this. But they only have 2 versions of this, and I believe this might be the darker one. I think this is the darker one. So like I mentioned, not good for deeper skin tones. So if you have anything more than like medium, I definitely wouldn't go for these. If you guys watch my channel, you know how much I love the Revlon blushes. I talk about them all the time because they are everything to me. They are truly like my holy grail. So these are just called the Revlon powder blushes. They have so many different shades, and they also have light to deep shades, and they also have matte, shimmer, and satin. You guys know my go-to shade is actually Marvelous, and this is a matte shade. This is what it looks like. In person, it's a little bit more neutral. I feel like in the camera, it looks very hot and pinky. This is one of their matte ones, and the thing is, this is just beautiful. It is very buttery. It is pigmented. So these are more on the pigmented side, but they do blend out really, really well. So go in with a light hand, but these just look beautiful. They last a really long time. I like the shades. I like the packaging. If you have lighter skin tone, Ravishing Rose is a really, really pretty one. This is actually a shimmer. Again, this looks a little bit lighter on screen. It's really not that light. If you have medium to deep skin tone, this is amazing. I use this all the time. This is very berry. This is like the perfect fall blush color. Like, look how stunning. I know it's a little bit intimidating, but the cool thing about these blushes, again, is that they're very pigmented. So if you do have deeper skin tone, it's gonna work for you. If you have lighter skin tone, just use a light hand. Like, it'll still work for you. And then my other favorite shade is Pink Cognito. It is a hot pink shade with specks of gold glitter, and this also looks really, really beautiful. So again, these are my favorite. I don't know if I mentioned the price, but these on the Revlon website priced are $11.99. I do think that they're worth the money. I like the options, the formula, the packaging, everything about it. It performs really, really well. So moving back to Wet n Wild, they also offer blush lighters, and this is what they look like. So on the website, they're just called the Mega Glow Blush Lighters. They do have 3 different shades. I only have 2 of them, but again, I know that a lot of people are really, really into like shimmery blushes, and so what's better than a blush lighter? This one's in the shade Flash Me. And this is probably my favorite one because it works better for my skin tone. So the blush side is a shimmer blush, and it's really, really pretty. It's actually not like super obnoxiously shiny. It's just like a nice shimmer blush. And then the other side is gonna be a rose gold highlighter. But if you do have lighter skin tones, I feel like you could even use that as a blush topper, and you can also just mix it and it's going to create something in between. So I really like this because I feel, again, like shimmer blushes are super trendy, and with this one, again, you get 2 for the price of 1. I also have the shade I Met Someone. This one's gonna be a little bit better for lighter skin tones. You have a nice peachy corally shimmer blush and then a highlight. These are also great for travel. I mean, if you pack this, you don't even need to pack a highlighter, you know? So these are only $6.89. I just feel like a lot of you would probably enjoy them too, right? Like I mentioned, I have a lot more blushes, but to keep the video short, I will show you guys one more, and then at the end, I will tell you guys kind of like a quick roundup of what you should buy depending on what you're looking for. So the last product I'll talk about is this. So this is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blushes. I first fell in love with the NYX Sweet Cheeks blushes when I bought the Sweet Cheeks palette. Unfortunately, that's not available anymore, but now they have these single ones. So I have the shade Bang Bang. These are $7.50, and they have a lot of shades, which is what I really like. They even have a yellow shade. It's actually a bestseller from NYX, and they are, of course, matte shades. Again, this is another beautiful shade for the fall, and I really like this. This actually reminds me a lot of the Revlon one, actually. Just very pigmented, matte, but not chalky, blendable, and this one is a little bit more buildable. Like I mentioned, the Revlon ones are very pigmented, but this one you can go in with like a lighter hand and get more of a flushed look or build it up. These are really, really nice. I think that if you just have trouble finding a specific shade, NYX might be the one that has it. Okay, so let's do a quick little roundup. So if you're just looking for a blush that can do many different things, can give you many different shades, definitely try the KOKIE ones. Again, these have a gradient effect, but you can choose a single shade from it. And also, if you are into a shimmer blush and you also want options, baby, get these from Wet n Wild. Very, very shimmery, very beautiful. If you don't want a highlighter and a blush, you just want a very, very shimmery blush that's gonna be seen from miles away, get this one from Hard Candy. It's also very affordable. They do sell it at Walmart. If you don't like this shade though, because it's too light for you, because they really don't have that many options, then definitely try these out from Covergirl. They do have a very similar vibe in the sense that they're a little bit thicker. They pack the punch a lot more with the pigment and the shimmer, but the Covergirl one does have a couple more options of shades if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a beautiful matte or shimmer blush that you don't want to like pack on the skin, you just like a nice flush, you like it natural, try the Milani ones. Again, if you want 3, get this one. If you just want one single one, get the bigger one. But if you do really like the softness, the silkiness of these blushes, but you just want more pigment, then try the Flower Beauty ones. This is again almost like blurring because it's so silky, it's so mattified, but it's very, very pigmented. So this is more for those people that love blush. If you just want a good blush and you like shimmer and you like matte, get the Revlon ones. I really truly think you can't go wrong with any of these. Again, try to find your shade. These to me are great because they're affordable, they have a good color selection, and again, they have all the different finishes that you could want. But if for some reason you cannot find what shade you're looking for and you just really need a very specific matte blush, try out the Sweet Cheeks because they probably have that shade for you. I'm telling you guys, they have a good amount of shades and the formula is very nice. And if you're just looking for a great blush and you are on a budget but you still want that quality, get the Wet n Wild ones. You can't go wrong with these. These are great because I'm not here to make you compromise for quality, okay? So these are great. So like I mentioned, I could do a part 2 if you guys are interested. I have another stack about this big of more drugstore blushes. Let me know, and don't forget to look at the playlist. I have already done this video, 2 videos for cream blushes, and I've also done cream bronzers, lip oils. I mean, I have tried it all for you guys, so hopefully it is helpful. I will link every single blush that I talked about down below if you guys are interested. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.